What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Pitching Ninja's Filthiest Pitches of the Day. Remember, before we get to those pitches, hit that subscribe button. Join Ninja Nation. And now, without further ado, here are my filthiest pitches of the day. I'm going to start with Kyle Bradish, who threw 8 scoreless innings with 6 strikeouts thanks to these sliders and his changeup. He only gave up 2 hits, too. He's got really good stuff, and I expect him to keep improving. Lance McCullers threw 5 scoreless innings. He only had 2 strikeouts, but did have these wicked sliders and knuckle curves. Joe Musgrove went 3 2/3 innings, gave up a ton of runs, but had these filthy curveballs. Bailey Falter had this Expelliarmus slider to Cruz,
Expelliarmus!
And also had this dirty curveball on his way to 6 strikeouts. Joe Ryan had these nasty sliders and had 6 scoreless innings with 8 strikeouts. Cade Cavalli made his major league debut and had these pretty curveballs, but he did give up 7 runs. It'll get better, Cade. Seriously, dude's going to be a stud. Freddie Peralta had these pretty curveballs on his way to 5 strikeouts and 6 no-hit and scoreless innings. Justin Steele continued to pitch really well. He had 6 strikeouts, giving up only 1 run in 5 1/3 innings, lowering his ERA to 3.18. A lot of Steele's success is due to his wicked slider. Opponents are only hitting 136 against this slider, and you can see why. Here's an overlay of Steele's slider with his fastball. They look the same, and that slider disappears. Reed Detmers had these filthy sliders and changeups on his way to 5 strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings, giving up only 4 hits. Detmer's slider has been really good, and opponents are only hitting 193 off of it. I love when the camera panned to the dugout and you can see Shohei Ohtani timing Reed Detmers. Shohei's always trying to get better, even when it comes to visualizing hitting off his own pitcher. Logan Gilbert had this painted fastball. Shane Bieber had another outstanding outing thanks to his 6 sliders and knuckle curves. And one thing I love about Bieber is this little K-turn he does after he strikes out the last hitter in an inning. It's a little like the Gladiator "Are you not entertained" turn. Bieber had 9 Ks in 7 innings, and I think this overlay shows why he can be so good despite not throwing ridiculously hard. Look how well his knuckle curve tunnels with his fastball. The longer pitches tunnel, the less time a hitter has to make up his mind to swing, which helps pitchers get by with less velocity. My filthiest pitcher from yesterday, that was Spencer Strider. He had a mix of fastballs, changeups, and sliders, and was totally dominant. Check out this painted 100-mile-an-hour fastball by Quadzilla. Perfect. And because Strider's fastball keeps its plane really well, he's able to get swords on elevated fastballs because it fools a hitter into thinking that it's going to drop, and it doesn't. Strider got this K on Goldschmidt, proving that the Rookie of the Year is better than the MVP. I also love Strider's mental game. You can see him really focusing on these few grains of dirt, which really helps him get in the zone. Strider pitches with more than his 15 pieces of flair, even down to this little leg turn on his follow-through. Dude is so much fun to watch. Now on to my filthiest relievers. Paul Sewald had these nasty sliders. Huascar Brazaban had this changeup and fastball. Cue the trumpets. Edwin Diaz had this White Castle special. Jonathan Loaisiga had this wicked 99-mile-an-hour sinker. Whit Merrifield had this 61-mile-an-hour gopher ball. I usually don't show home runs, but a ninja has a long memory, and I remember Whit blaming me for the foreign substance issues in baseball. Just kidding, Whit. I'm sorry, or whatever. Seriously, though, I took Merrifield's comments as a compliment back then. Tyler Rogers had this rising slider, and I love seeing it from a home plate view. You can see how alien that pitch really is. Evan Phillips had these wicked sliders. Trevor Stephan had these nasty splitters. Dillon Tate had these 6 sliders. Nick Sandlin had this filth. AJ Minter had this 96-mile-an-hour fastball and fantastic follow-through. But my filthiest reliever of the day was James Karinchak. Karinchak had these 3 strikeouts and then went into this K celebration, which Shane Bieber thoroughly enjoyed. I did this quick overlay so you can see why a hitter might take an elevated curveball from Karinchak. To get an elevated curveball into the zone, you see how high Karinchak has to start that curveball. And it tunnels really well with that fastball way up out of the zone. So as a hitter, you give up on it, and it ends up catching the zone. Filthy, filthy tunneling. And now, my pitching ninja moment of zen. It'd be really tough to get in more coach speak cliches in 16 seconds than Brian Jordan does right here.
You got to find a way to slow
Lord
Austin down. He is really opening up that front side with a long swing. When he's trusting his hands, he's staying back, he's closing that shoulder down and just letting the hands go through the zone and barrel balls up.
What is up, Ninja Nation? My picks of the day today are a 3-leg parlay, and we're going to go with the lucky number 7. I'm going to take a same-game parlay with Shohei Ohtani and Alek Manoah to both have 7 Ks or more. And I'm going to add to it Dustin May for 7 Ks or more. What would your picks of the day be?